Yeah, it archives it automatically. We should have about 5 people watching it. That's awesome. And then we have reporters who want to know what happened in the meeting. And want to know what's going on. I think you're right. All right, let's do this. Yeah, I'm sorry, we didn't reconfirm it. Okay, yeah, I apologize. Yeah, you can speak. All right. Oh. Can I get another one? Thank you. All right, wow, we got folks in the back. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, we'll work on that just a moment. How's that? Any better? Okay. Can we get somebody to open that dividing wall behind so everybody can see back there? Thanks. We got an overflow crowd here this evening. It's always good to see. Welcome to the October 2010 ECAC meeting. I'm glad to see everybody here tonight. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, so we will get started. I apologize for the late delay. There's always something that I have to do here. I'm Mark Turner, the CAC chair, and let me get a show of hands if I could for everybody who's here for the first time. Raise your hand, please. All right, got a good number of people. All right, how many folks saw about the meeting on the news and is here for that reason? Okay, good. How many people have seen the signs in the neighborhood? Excellent. Okay, good. We like the signs. The signs are a good thing. And actually, I've got a whole stack of them in the back of my car. If anybody else wants to take some yard signs, put them out there and get your neighbors aware of the CAC meetings. That's always a good thing. We have a couple of things on the agenda tonight. We are going to hear from St. Augs, who's going to talk about some of their renovation plans. Marc Newman is here from St. Augs. We also are going to hear about the Raleigh Digital Connectors, which is a program that helps get people in our community familiar with the internet and computers so that they can bridge the digital divide, so that's good. We will also, of course, have our regular police report and hopefully cover some of the events that took place this morning on Glasscock Street. So we'll get to all that and answer whatever questions that you might have or whatever the police can tell us at this point. As far as success reports go, not a whole lot going on, I guess, from my point of view, other than to say that, as you can see in Lions Park, we've got some construction going on with the new LED lighting, and I don't know if that's actually been signed off on as far as inspections go, where they can turn it on. But at least for the side of the gymnasium, you can see those LED lights at night, and that's a significant investment by the city in our neighborhood. So I at least appreciate that and think it's a wonderful thing. So anybody else have any other success reports they'd want to throw in? Okay. Charlene Willard, of course, our community services liaison is not here tonight. She's actually on vacation, a much-needed vacation, because she put together the Neighborhood Exchange, which, by the way, was an outstanding program this year. So she's not going to be with us, and we've got a replacement here, Stacy Lundy from Community Services. Thank you. And if you haven't signed in when you came in, be sure that you put your name and address and email address down on the list so that we can keep track and let you know things that are going on in the neighborhood. I also have a pile of papers here on the table for email lists for the neighborhoods, various neighborhoods. So if you want to find out what's going on in your neighborhood, maybe start a community watch or something, or pass on information about things that are happening, pick one of these up and take it with you. Sign up for the mailing list so that you can stay informed about things that are happening in your community. So I'll put a few of these up here too in case anybody wants to grab them. All right, with that, and if there aren't any other success reports to mention, we need to go ahead and approve our minutes from September, for the September meeting. Those have been posted online, and Sue Sturgis, our secretary, has a few corrections, I think, that need to be made to those.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know the summary of the minutes that you all got in the newsletter actually missed a few critical items, and so that's been corrected, and Mark's posting the corrected piece to the website. The most important one was that the current slate of officers was reelected.
And if you don't know that, then no minutes corrections are going to help you. So, all right, can I just get a motion to approve those minutes as corrected? We'll just go. Okay, we have a second. All right, all in favor? All right. All right, motion carries. Thank you. With that, let's hear from Dudley with the Inspections Department, and he's a little nervous there, I guess. Is there a problem? Yeah, I have to come up here, unfortunately. He hates us. Just humor me a little bit.
Always. How y'all doing tonight? I'm Dudley Winslow. The City of Raleigh has an environmental inspections. What I do is cover public nuisances, zoning vehicles, and dilapidated homes. Looking for structure damage, so forth like that, rental property. Any questions? I know a lot of you have been here several times and heard me speak, so do any newcomers that have any questions or anything at this time? Oh, okay.
I have a question, and I'm not even sure if this is a matter for inspections, but maybe you can tell me who it is a matter for. There's a shopping cart that appeared in my neighborhood just on the side of the road. And normally you can see if it's a Food Line shopping cart, you call Food Line and they'll come and get it. But we don't know whose shopping cart this is, and it's just been sitting there for like a week.
We'll take care of that.
Okay, that's at the corner of Brighton and Millbank.
Okay. Tell you what, grab one of my cards back there
Okay.
before you leave, and just give me a call, and we'll get it taken care of.
Okay,
I'll get
so
it
I'll
to
give
the
you a
appropriate
call.
department. How about that? Anything else? Anybody? Yes, ma'am.
The house that was on the corner of, I guess, Cold Pepper, and I'm not sure the one that was actually had the burnt damage. I think they've torn down the top part of it, the base of it still there. Are they planning on rebuilding
What,
that?
address?
I'm not sure what the address is, right on Cold, you go down Cold Pepper and Glasscock, right on the corner. Kennington.
Okay, that would be Kenny Smith, who is not here tonight. He is handling that particular case. I am overlapping in his area to help him out because he got really swamped with the apartment complex, Raleigh apartment complex and all. So he's got a case on that, and I can't give you an answer to that question at this time, so I don't have the paper in front of me. But
I think I can.
Okay.
That particular property is related to my family, not directly my family, but we've been involved in that.
Okay.
And as we speak, probably some rebuilding activity will start this week.
Okay.
All right, okay, thank you.
Good. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Makes my job easier.
Speaking on that,
It's hard to keep up with all of them. Okay. Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Doug. We appreciate that. All right, let's move on to our Parks and Rec Department report. Jason, I saw Jason here. He's stepped away. Okay. Jason, you're on.
How's everybody doing today, or tonight, I should say this evening? I'm Jason Clemens, Assistant Director here at Lions Park. A little bit about myself, for those of you guys that are making your very first visit. Graduate of Winston-Salem State University. Got my master's degree from High Point University. Just like to throw that out there. I'm proud of myself. Let's get right in it. Okay, did you know the city of Raleigh launched a new website in August? Please let us know how you like the website. Is it better than the old one? There's an online survey that you guys can take to let us know your feedback. Okay, park planning updates. Pulling Park Amusements renovation project has been bidded and construction will begin in October. So look for that to come about. Some upcoming special events, the Halloween Trail, costume characters, arts and crafts, and a hayride and more. Location will be at Durant Nature Park on October the 22nd and the 23rd from 6 o'clock to 9 p.m. The Haunted Mordecai. Do you think Mordecai Park is haunted? Find out during, including a festival, trolley ride, and lantern tour. This is going to be, of course, at the Mordecai Historic Park, October the 30th from 5 o'clock p.m. to 10 p.m. Grady here is actually going to talk more about the Oak City Classic. He's putting on that event and along with a couple of other centers that are helping him out. So I'm going to let him have the floor.
Good evening. My name is Grady Bussey. I'm the Center Director of the Courtney Johnson Community Center as well as the Top Green Community Center. And I'm here basically to let this community know, as well as the other communities, of some really exciting events that are coming up in the very near future. One of the things that the city has looked at in terms of celebrating is the collaboration of St. Augustine's College and Show University and their football program. So what we've decided to do is piggyback on their achievements with their football program and provide a certain different events that are focused on the youth as well as the community. Now, my plan A was to come and provide you guys with basically a PDF folder, PDF flyer, but I realized that they're out of ink here, so what we're going to do is a really good plan B. If I can get a copy of your email addresses, I can send you this information so you can pass it along to friends and correspondents. Just so you're aware, what we've done with the different community centers, we looked at different opportunities and ways in which we can get in front of young people as well as people that may have needs in the community and celebrate the achievements of the two schools and make it a week-long event. So the events start on October 31st through November 5th and leads up to the game between St. Augustine's College and Show University on November 6th. On October 31st, we're going to be having a football and cheerleading clinic at Chavis Community Center from 3 to 5 p.m. and it's free. It's open to children ages 7 to 15 years old. On November 1st, we are actually going to be having a health screening event at Top Green Community Center. We are in partnership with Rex Hospital, and they'll be coming out and they'll be doing heart examinations, as well as they'll provide you information about cancers, about heartburn, and a various of different diseases that we want to make people aware of. On November 2nd, we have a college expo event where we have local colleges here locally as well as throughout the state to come out to give out information about what it needs to do to actually be for young people to have the opportunity to get into college, pass information about scholarships and different literature. And that will also be at the Top Green Community Center. That will be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. On November 4th, here at this site, we actually have the fashion show. And some of you probably are familiar with the fashion show here at Lions Park, and we're excited that that's going to actually be in collaboration with the event. And on Friday, November 5th, we actually have a citywide youth step show. So if you know anybody or any teams or from your churches or from various elementary schools that want to be involved in the youth step show, we actually have an event that's going to be at Bidmore Hills. Now, if you are aware of somebody that wants to be a part of that, they're going to need to, and I'm going to leave my contact information. They need to let us know early so we can be able to get a copy of their DVD of their performance, so we can make sure that they're, able to perform. So, and then it leads up to the St. Augustine's College Shore University game on November 6th. So we have a lot of positive opportunity, a lot of positive activities, and I really hope that you guys can help me spread the good news so we can get people informed as well as get people empowered. And like I said, I'll leave my contact information, and if you don't mind, I will also provide, I also will get information from you guys so you can pass the information on. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Grady. You guys make sure to come out to that event because, Grady's put a lot of time in it, along with myself and other centers that are involved. Like he said, this is a great opportunity for everybody to collaborate because it's really all about our youth, especially in this community. We have to make sure that they move forward with their lives and not just hang around the park until they're 40, 50 years old, whatever. We want them to move. If that's what you want to do, but we don't want that to be our fault. We want to push them forward and just teach them that there's more than just staying here in the city. Okay? Athletics, there's a couple of updates. Youth basketball registration is currently going on. A couple of the leagues are already filled, but if you guys want to inquire more about that, we do have a couple of spaces available for our younger kids as well as our older kids. Adult basketball is going to start October the 18th. The registration will be from October the 18th through the 21st. And with that, I will take any questions, concerns. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm sorry about that. Oh, yeah. Well, from now on, I know with us, when we put on events that cost money, we try to make sure that's on the flyer, so you guys are not hit over the head with it's $25 to get in. But any other questions? All right, it's all yours.
Thank you, Jason. And now we're going to move on to our police report feature with Officer Crisco to tell us what's going on.
How's everybody doing tonight? I suspect not everyone's here to listen to me talk, but about the incident. You are here to talk about the incident that happened this morning. Unfortunately, there's not much more that I could tell you that's already not already in the news. They have developed a suspect. There are warrants taken out for that suspect, and our fugitive unit is in the midst of trying to track that person down. And other than that, does anybody have any other questions about it? Okay, as soon as they release details, I will send Mark an email, or maybe almost like not a press release, but just a release of what actually happened, how it occurred, why it occurred. But right now, it's still an active case, and because it's so recent as of this morning, there's not much information that they even let us know, because they don't want us to accidentally leak out what leads they may have. So until everything gets all the ducks are lined up, they're not going to let us know anything. So everything that you know is what I know. I don't know anything more. Yes, ma'am. As far as I know, I don't know any information about the case at all. Only thing I know is that they have a suspect that they have already written warrants for and are looking for him. I'm not exactly sure if he or she lives in that area, or the people that were the victims, if they live at that house. As of right now, I didn't do any in-depth research on the history of the house and the tenants of the house. But as soon as that information is available for public release, as far as like from the department, I will let you know. If my answer doesn't satisfy, you can always go on to the county websites and look up the record of deeds to see who actually owns that house. If it's a rental property, then you're probably not going to, and they're renting it, you're probably not going to be able to get a lease unless you talk to the management company. But as soon as that information does come out and I'm available to release it to you from our side, I will go ahead and do that. Go ahead.
The Southeast District Commander, Captain Lull, regretted he wasn't able to come here tonight. He has another engagement, but he did talk to me on the phone earlier this afternoon and shared a few more things about the case that he was aware of. I think they're still trying to sort out a lot of the details, but as he explained it to me, these people came into the neighborhood to shoot this guy who lives on Glasscock. They wound up getting there. They wound up turning on each other instead, and the three of them wound up getting injured. And I'm not sure about the guy they came for, but he is on the run now, and that's who they're trying to track down, from what I understand. So, as Captain Lull said, it could have happened to any neighborhood, and it just happened to be that this guy happened to live here, and that's where they came. So. I don't know what the situation was. It appears to be sort of a domestic-related thing, and some people don't work those out as politely as we would prefer, I guess, sometimes. So. Okay, yeah. So. Okay, yeah. So there you go. Make sure you tune in, because you'll probably find out about stuff before we do here. So. Okay.
With that being said, does anybody have any questions on the crime statistics that I've handed out? Yes. Said 1019, Brighton. I only see the one for 911 Brighton. Okay. So, doesn't look like I didn't when I read it in the articles or the reports. Are 2 different days. Nothing was the reports weren't linked. Usually when they relate to one another, they'll link the reports together. But there wasn't. The one on 911 Brighton Road was basically they made entry through a side window. Nothing was taken. And all the reports stated was that the window was open. So whether or not somebody got in their house, it's basically whatever the victim says. The person who reported it, they believe somebody came in their house, even though no items were stolen. They're the ones that truly know whether they left the window open or not. There was no signs of forced entry except for the window being open. There was no, nothing was nothing was tossed around. It didn't look like anybody broke in except for the window was open. The 1019, that was an eviction issue. Basically, they were evicted and they came back on the property. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Do you know if it was the offense? Do you know what offense it was? Same thing. On this one, they kicked in the back door, and that was it. Nothing was stolen out of there. But the robbery, from everything I read in there, the robbery, they stated it was gang-related. So it wasn't anything that was random. So you can take out of it what you want with the attempted breaking and entering and then the robbery. So out of that, I would say those two are probably connected. If it was me, I would think that the breaking and entering was their attempt to rob him the first time, but he or she, but they weren't there. But anything could happen. It could be something completely different. Any other questions? Yes. Okay, that was I read this one, and it was pretty difficult to read because it was all teenagers involved, and nobody was giving any information. Even the victim was kind of like iffy, and I'm not, just by reading it, I can't tell what her demeanor was. I can only tell by what the officers wrote that person said. So it didn't give me a lot of information, but basically this female was approached by two teenagers, and they dragged her in the woods and they raped her. It doesn't say. the report didn't say if they were students or not, but they were teenagers, so I can assume they probably were students. But I can't guarantee or tell you for a fact that they were, because it wasn't written in a report. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, those are all larcenies. Basically, they're shopliftings. Most of the things you see under for 1,100, and if it's a larceny, it's probably going to be a shoplifting at Food Lion. Any other questions? Okay. Another thing I always address every single time we come up here, we've had 10 motor vehicle thefts from motor vehicle, or larceny from motor vehicles. 9 of those were because people left their doors unlocked, left their iPod sitting on the desk, left their computer sitting on the desk, but on the seats. I mean, GPS systems just out in plain sight. Windows down. A lot of them are from, obviously the ones that are near the high school are from the high school kids, but some of them aren't. But we just need to make sure that we take our stuff, lock our cars, and hide it. If you're going to keep it in your car, put it in the trunk. I've never once taken a larceny from motor vehicle where they got into the trunk. Because if it's in the trunk, they don't know it's there. If they do know it's there, then it's probably somebody that you know. So take your stuff out, hide it. Some people say hide underneath the seat. I wouldn't. I would just take it out of the car completely or put it in the trunk. Of the robberies, we had the one at Calumet Drive. From what I've read of all those reports, that's the only one that seems to be random, because there was really no information on the part of who did it. The one at New Bern Avenue, what that was at the Walgreens, a subject born in there, bought something. When they opened up the cash register, they attempted to grab all the money out. The clerk grabbed the cash register in time, and then the guy ran out. The one on King Charles Road, that was gang related. At 509 King Charles Road was gang related. The one at 1031 North King Charles Road, I actually responded to that one, and it was an uncooperative victim. So we got the video, we basically knew who the people were, but he refused to say anything, so there's nothing that we could do about it. He said he wasn't going to testify in court, and there's some other things that, after watching the video, makes it a kind of a shady situation of what was going on. Other than that, we had the 4 motor vehicle thefts. 3 of them, actually 2 of them were motorcycles. One was in the backyard, so somebody's actually going in the backyard trying to get motorcycles. So it's probably someone that they know. I can't guarantee it was, say for a fact that it was, but if your motorcycle's in the backyard and most people have a 6-foot fence, it's going to hide the motorcycle. So somebody knew that that person had a motorcycle in the backyard. And that was the one off Myers Road. That one was actually stolen. The one on Colleton, they attempted to steal the motorcycle, but they weren't able to steal it. The one on Warren Avenue, they took a moped. And then, I skipped the one. The one on Millburny, apparently it was a broken down vehicle at the end of the road that was unable to start. And the victim said that there's no way somebody could have drove away with it. So obviously, it probably got towed. But in the report, they checked the tow log for Raleigh Police, and nobody towed it. So it could have been. We have been some cases where there's some rogue tow trucks that come around and they just tow vehicles every once in a while. We don't have a problem with it in our area. Mainly it's out in the county, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those cases where they came in, saw it, it's been there for a while, the guy probably drives by it every day, because it doesn't say how long it was abandoned, and realized that, hey, no one's came to get that car, and they just towed it out. Yes. Do you have cable locks? I mean, it depends, because some of them, they look at it, they'll get a bolt cutter. I've seen people have bolt cutters and go in there probably with the intent of going and snatching a moped. They'll have bolt cutters and cut them. It's a bolt cutter will cut through it. I get a chain lock. It's a cable lock. Wrap it as much, it's a moped, it's really hard, doesn't really know where under, they could take most of it apart if they wanted to. I've been to calls where people actually took the moped apart for it, so, I would just try to hide it as maybe, I don't know if they sell insurance for mopeds, but yeah, I would definitely, especially in this area here, the mopeds, I think we get at least 1 or 2 of these every time we come here, mopeds being stolen. A lot of times it's the kids that are stealing them. Yes. I'm there every single day, sir. What's that? No, I'm not there all day. I'm usually there from about 11 o'clock to about 3 o'clock. I just sit there, and I get a lot of people that come in and say thank you, but it's not manned 24/7. It has the capability of being manned 24/7. They have to get a key fob in there now, that is what we're waiting on, so that every single officer has availability to it. But right now, I'm the only one that has a key, so I'm there every day from 11 till about 3 o'clock, and it varies. Sometimes I'm there all day. I'm just sitting there, just waiting for people to come by. Yes, there's actually an emergency phone outside. It's a push button phone. We get calls at least 10 times a day. People just going by, pushing the button. Mainly little kids. They go by and push the button. So yeah, trust me, it works. I get tons of emails. Thanks a lot, Crisco. So. Not much. There's now, as far as it's not ever going to be fully manned. There's never going to be a secretary there. It's not going to be a substation as we all know substations. You're not going to be able to go there and pick up a report. You're not going to be able to. Well, that's about it. Other than that, you can just go there. I think they're talking about maybe holding a lot of the community meetings there. They even threw around the idea of having a CAC office in there for the CSA personnel. I know that the Lockwood Folly Community Watch has done a meeting there. They're going to do one. I believe it's the 14th or something. We have to figure that out, the dates. So it is able to be utilized by the citizens as long as we get the notice far enough in advance. We can get it taken care of. No, it's just a neighborhood office, and it's basically it was put there it's temporary. It's not permanent. It's 2 years for right now, but as things go, I don't see them taking it out of there to spend too much money on it. But it's not intended to be a police substation. It's just intended to be a neighborhood office to have a presence in that area. Because when we first came on, we did a kind of analyzed the crime in the area, and that was a hot spot right there. I mean, we had 120 in 4 years. We had 128 armed robberies in that parking lot alone. We had like 96 aggravated assaults, and I think we had 4 homicides within a 2-block radius. I mean, they even beat up an armed security guard and took his gun. So we felt that was the place to put a police presence. And even if we're not there, there's still a big presence. Sometimes I park around back and just sitting there and watch people look in the office. And they're like, oh, wow. I've seen people get out of their cars, look at the office, turn it around, get in their car, and leave. Because we're right next to the pawn shop. Sometimes, your conscience gets the better of you sometimes, and and I love TV for the fact that they put that notion in everybody's mind that, hey, man, they got all this stuff, they could track me and all this and that, so they automatically think if they're up to something no good, their conscience gets the better of them. And I like to laugh sometimes because they'll see the pawn shop guys. We have a good rapport, so they come over all the time just to talk. But it's just they don't know. It's just that the act of the pawn shop manager coming to my office. They don't know what he's saying. He could be saying, "Hey, Mick Crisco, I hate you. I don't like the job you're doing," but nobody else knows what he's telling me. It's just that action right there is enough to deter some people from trying to go in there and pawn their stuff. So, I think it's doing a good job. I think before we even got the office there, the crime has decreased 4% in that area over the last year and a half anyway. And we'll see within the next year with the implementation of the community office how much more crime has gone down. I'm going to say it's gone down at least another 2 or 3% because I don't see half as many people hanging out there as used to hang out there all the time. Yes, and I know that York Properties and we've talked and I've talked to their security manager Ben Allen, and they're looking to invest a lot of money in there, and they're going to I believe they said they're going to try to repaint it. They're going to try to. I've talked to them about the shrubbery around. I said, yeah, it's nice to have it there, but we need to get it groomed to a certain standard so that I can't sit behind there, and someone can walk past me and I can't see them. So there was a homeless camp in the back, which I never knew until they started clearing it out. And then I talked to Henry, and 2 days later, it was gone. They cleared it out. So they have a pretty good long-range plan for that area. The investors, I think, are out of New Jersey, and they're looking to invest a lot of money there. But what they wanted to do was see what the impact that the Raleigh Police Neighborhood Office would have on that area. And so far, I think it's had a good impact. And I know that with PK Management coming on board, I think in our last meeting we of all the problem units we have, we had 27 evictions, and those were just from people violating their Section 8 policy, and it wasn't menial things. It was like drug deals, it was assaults, it was all types of Part 1 crimes, or, not violent crimes, but it's the more, the crimes you watch and see on TV, that they make television shows about. It's not your burglaries and stuff, because you really can't kick somebody out if they commit a crime on somebody else's property. But if they're doing something on that property, the officers that I've spoken to, we've kind of trained ourselves to what we would normally not write a report about or not even tell another officer about. They just give me emails. Hey, Crisco, somebody did this. Hey, this guy was on this property. He says he was at this apartment, and I give them all a tenant roster. They know exactly every single person from mother to child that lives out there. So as soon as they say, okay, I'm at this apartment, well, where's so-and-so? You go knock on the door, they're not there. Well, this guy is going to get trespassed, but she or he gets a letter saying that this person, this is a final notice, this person here has, given the Raleigh Police Department your address as their home of record. He's on your lease. This is a warning. The next time you'll get evicted. So they're working on that. If you don't have any more questions, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My bicycle's broken, though. We rode the heck out of them the first 6 months we got them, but now there's so many officers that are bike certified because they get to wear those cooler uniforms. Not cool as in like the way they look, but just the way the material is well permeable, and it's a lot better than wearing this, and it's a lot more ergonomic for us. So a lot of officers wanted to get bike qualified so they can get out there on the bicycles and do their little special projects and get out and patrol places where we normally can't do it because we have patrol vehicles. So you'll see them out there. They're all over the place now. And I even talked to the horse officers about trying to get them to walk the Greenway too. Because I remember we had a complaint about the Greenway up over here by Crabtree. So I haven't heard back from them yet. They're restructuring a little bit with all the promotions that are going on within the department. So once everything gets settled, which will be probably about the beginning of the year, and hopefully when the grant money that we were told we were going to get from the federal government comes through, we're going to have a lot more officers in that area on foot, on bike, and hopefully on horse too. Yes. Yes. If it's not in here and it's not called in 911, then we will only get told about it. And if it is called in, they dispatch it to them. It's not going to be on my records. But if they haven't told me about it, then I don't know. I can look into it. I can ask, and I can definitely put a bug in your ear and say, hey, if this is going on, please let us know. I can try and get them to come out here, and you guys can. I know they came out once last year to talk to you guys about dogs. I can try to get them to come out again, if you would like. No, that's fine. Yes, ma'am. Trespassing.
It's a city ordinance for people to
Yeah.
clean up after the dogs, too.
On a city street and stuff like that, but
Civil fine,
yeah,
$75 fine.
yeah.
Who do you go to report? Because we have a problem in our
Mhm.
money. And I've given them the cards that talk about, don't do this and why, and they just keep it.
Mhm.
How
If
much
you,
do we do about that? Do we call that into non-emergency?
yeah, there's really not much. It happens outside of our presence. There's really not much that we can do. We can write a report about it.
Tell you what time.
But yes, if no, that's what I'm gonna suggest to you. If you know a time, you know a person, you know exactly when they do it, and it's the same thing every day, just shoot me an email and I'll get over there. If I'm not available to get there, I'll have another officer come there, and if they see it happens, then they can issue in the city code.
Take pictures, too. I mean, that
Yeah.
always helps.
Yeah,
Sue, do you have something?
yeah. Now, are they coming onto your property, or are they just letting the dogs go on your property? Because if they're actually walking onto your lawn, then we can it's a misdemeanor. We can take them to jail for trespassing. And that will probably hammer home, your message. But yeah, get all that information. You can just call for, You don't have to always call the non-emergency line. You can call 911 and ask for a talk with an officer, and they'll send somebody out there to talk with you. You know, they're not going to put it at the top of the list, but they'll get out to you so you can say, hey, this is the person, and this is that. But just send me the email with the times and the information, and like the rest of them are saying, take pictures if you have a camera.
All right. If anybody has any other questions for Officer Crisco, you can probably meet him out in the hallway. I don't know. We've got some time to discuss that. Thank you very much, Officer Crisco. All right, with that, let's move on to our planning and zoning report, talking about Z2410. And Keith, if you want to go ahead and step up here, you can take over. And if Mr. Coleman likes to speak, he can do that too.
I'm Keith. I run the Economic Development Committee, and for this week at least, I'm running the Planning and Zoning Committee. We met at 6 o'clock right before the meeting about the rezoning case on Poole and Norwood, which is, if you've been here at all, it's been a subject for a while now, about a year or so. But now it's going before the council again. This time as a neighborhood business instead of a shopping center, which is our previous vote. So Danny's here tonight. Danny, if you was it about a couple minutes, or 1 or 2 minutes, we'll tell you a little bit about it, and we'll have the vote afterwards.
The property is 2405 Poole Road. It's the store right in front of Clarence Poe. I initially filed a rezoning for a shopping center. It was voted down. Council permitted me to come back, waive the 2-year refiling period, and I filed it again for neighborhood business. We have been working with the school system. In fact, we were here last month, and the group said to come and talk to the Economic Development Committee. I did, coming from leaving a meeting at Post School with the head of the PTA and the principal. All I'm asking tonight is that I don't want to vote. We decided at your Economic Development or Planning meeting today that next month I was going to bring the head of the PTA and the principal to meet with your group to craft the conditions that were agreeable. When I met with the school system, they wanted to see residential. We talked about the units that were built over on Brookside with the residential up top and the retail at the bottom, which is more compatible. It answers the issue of having residential on that site. It is a work in progress. When I came here last time, we all said we weren't in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. It's too important to get it right to be in a hurry. I don't think doing nothing is an option. I think we can look up and down Newman Avenue and see what doing nothing represents. I think we can look at our Longview Gardens and see what doing nothing represents. I think you can look right behind Food Line up here, where used to be Big Star, whatever is back there. If you even chance going back there, we can see what doing nothing looks like. So all I'm saying, instead of taking a vote tonight, which Mark is going to say that the committee would want you to take, I say, let us continue the work that we're doing. Let us work with the school. You know, they're trying to work with us. They're right there in front of us. They were our staunchest naysayers the last time. We had a very good meeting today with them. And I'm just saying, the option of doing nothing should not be an option. Southeast Raleigh is full of people not doing anything. Thank you.
Well, the neighbors around the property have filed a valid statutory protest position, which has been accepted as valid by the city on the grounds. I'm not terribly familiar with the specifics of it, but the idea is that the surrounding residents of this property have been for a while and continue to be opposed to rezoning this piece of property to anything other than its current zoning, which is residential. So the committee recommends we take a vote tonight, since he is going in meeting with the council tomorrow, or is the planning commission tomorrow? Public hearing tomorrow. And so the committee has recommended taking a vote, and the committee is also recommending declining as it stands at the moment with one of the primary influences being the fact that the surrounding neighborhood has filed a statutory protest position. So since we are going to take a vote tonight, do I have a motion? Does anyone have a motion for us to vote on?
First, let me say that you have to be an ECAC resident before you vote, so if you don't actually live in the CAC area, then you can't vote. Your vote can't be counted. So just be aware of that.
Thanks, Mark. Dan?
For clarity, there is a store there now. If you vote to deny, there will be a store there tomorrow. There will be the exact same store. 20 years ago, the community took the same position, and that store that was there 20 years ago is still there today. So actually, doing nothing does not close the store. Doing something allows us to put it into the context of the 21st century. As it moves forward, this is a residential area, residential over retail. I just want to make sure that you understand that digging in does not close that store. Digging in just makes it harder. Well, it doesn't make it harder on anyone because people are making money running the store as it is now. So I just want to make sure that this is not going to close the store. So if you're talking about improving the neighborhood, and you've got an agent of change here with you, willing to work with you, and yes, how am I'm working with the school, I'm working with Mark, I talk to Mark all the time, I work with him continually. No, I didn't call you, Mr. Crockett, and no, Ms. Sturgis, I didn't call you. Ms. Sturgis, you see me on the street, you hardly even want to speak to me. I suppose my professionalism, I'm sorry, Sue. Sally. The other Sue. I asked her what your last name was. She said, she gave me the wrong one. But anyway, that's all. It's a store, and it can continue to be a store. It can be 20 years from now, they can be back up here. Can you afford to let it continue to be the store that it is?
May I ask a question just for clarification? Mr. Coleman, have you ruled out making it strictly a residential development? That's off the table.
Yes. The property owners, that's not on
The overall arching, to jump in myself here, I've been in the process for most of it here for over a year. And Bobby, feel free to interject if you have anything else to add. Sorry, buddy, just had to do that to you. He used to chair this. The primary concern of the CAC previously, and still as the committee is reflecting that, is the fact that the property owner has not been willing to consider a non-alcoholic use of the property, and that's been the big sticking point, and that's been a lot of the tension. But does anybody have a motion on the floor for a vote? Okay. Yeah, of course.
Requests have been made that blueprints or something from you, and he indicated that you hadn't
you know, not only have I not gotten a request from Mr. Crockett for his blueprint, even the valid statutory petition that was filed was not forwarded to me. I had to get that from James Brantley here tonight. Now, not saying that I have not reached out to Mr. Crockett, and I haven't. I have tried to work with Mark. I primarily was trying to work with the school because Sally Reynolds was a very effective, she's there with the school. And no one was at that meeting today, I'm sorry, Sue, whatever, but me. And I can tell you, Amy Flannery Smith, the one that really was the PTA president, and Sally, and a couple other PTA people, we left there with a working understanding of the conditions that they wanted us to put in there. So I'm going to put those conditions in there tonight, but it's not completed. We're to get together in another month. That's why when I came to this meeting, I suggested to the chair and to both of your chairs that we combine it, because having these meetings in ex parte fashion is not doing anybody any good. Put the stakeholders around there in the same room at the same time, and let's do this. Now I'm going to tell you the last thing Amy Flannery Smith told me, and I don't know who listened to the admonition from the council when this thing came back and they waived the 2-year filing period, was that they expect us to do something together. They expect us to do something together. And we're trying to be creative. We're trying to be real creative on how to control drug paraphernalia sales, and trying to do that something like the prop ordinance. I mean, this, we've tried to be out of the box on this. I don't know how to reach out to people when, I can't do anything about alcohol sale. And if I can't do anything about the alcohol sale, I can't go to the next step. I'm able to go to the next step with school people, but maybe I can't go to the next step. And maybe, I can take whatever the vote of the group is, but I just want you to understand that doing nothing does not close that store. Doing nothing does not stop the sale of alcohol. Doing nothing says that it will look like it is now and continue to look like it is now, and that's just the fact. So if you want it to stay the same, do nothing.
Danny, I hate to cut you off, but we're just really behind schedule, and we got to call a vote, and we just got to move on. Is there a motion on the floor for a vote? Vote for denial. Is there a second on that? Okay. All in favor of denying?
And I'm going to have to count your hands, so please keep
All.
remember only
Yeah.
CAC.
Yeah. Is there any further discussion? We have to take a vote at this time, so then move on. So, all who are in favor of denying this the rezoning request as it stands, please raise your hands. Please raise them high so we can count. So, keep them up. All who are in favor of approving the request, please raise your hand. Okay, so we have the vote. So, thanks for your time, everyone.
Thank you, Keith. All right, now we're going to hear from Ms. Linda Jones from the City of Raleigh to talk a little bit about Raleigh's Digital Connectors. And apologize, we're running a little bit behind schedule here, so we'll try to do as much as we can.
I'm short. Good afternoon, everyone. Some of you may already know who I am. I'm Linda Graham Jones, and I've been with the city for 7 years. Formerly, before taking the position with the Information Technology Department 4 months ago, I served as the Youth Services Coordinator for the Summer Youth Employment Program with the city of Raleigh. But in information technology now, we have received stimulus money that we are starting 4 digital connector programs. And that is going to teach youth. It's an intensive computer training program. And they're also going to give back community service in terms of the residents, their families, and their neighbors. So the community services aspect is that is exactly what they have to do, is to make sure that what they're learning, they're going to give back to the residents. And we are kicking off our first program on November the 2nd, and it's going to run the academic year to June the 8th. And we will be accepting 15 students within all the 4 programs. The second and third program will run this summer, like a summer camp for 6 weeks, and we will be recruiting in April. I'm here tonight to recruit for the November 2nd upcoming program in a couple of weeks, and then we'll have another fall program, 2011, that will run the academic year. We're very excited about this program. Even though it's stimulus money, we are going to try to find and make it a city initiative, because just starting with an impact of 60, that's what we're doing. It's just starting to make a dent in the lives of the youth in terms of technology. The curriculum will involve leadership development, personal development, digital literacy, understanding social media, internet safety, things of that nature. And also we will be partnering with AT&T and Cisco as well. The partnership that we have gained the stimulus money from is One Economy. I don't know if anyone here tonight attended the ECAC meeting, the ECAC Community Day, but I was out there trying to promote the program then as well. So I have some flyers that I'll leave on the back, and it has our contact information. The deadline to apply is October the 27th. Applicants will receive a phone call to set up an interview, so it is a selection process. Again, we will be taking 15 for this go-round, so please don't get discouraged if your youth applies and does not get a slot for this particular program. Let's see, ages are 14 to 21. Yeah, ages 14 to 21 years of age. And that's pretty much, it's just that in a nutshell. But I'll be happy to entertain questions. Yes, ma'am. Right, so the curriculum that I called over in terms of digital literacy, social media like Facebook and Twitter, we will set up resident training classes. For example, Lions Park. We will actually have some of you guys or ladies may want to come out and just learn. So pretty much the youth are being trained to train you on using your internet skills and, again, safety. And it can be very basic, understanding that our older residents need this information as well, and they can learn how to use a mouse, go online possibly to check their medications. But we also are looking at this as like a multi-generational gap, which goes back to Mark mentioning the digital divide. Not only bringing the youth into the 21st century, but also bringing in their families, and especially all the residents. Yes, ma'am. The youth will be the ones that will be trained. And yes, they will receive computers to be trained. We will be holding the training classes. Right now it's going to be at our City of Raleigh computer lab downtown. Hopefully, One Exchange Plaza. We are trying to get the permanent home to be in the teen center off of Tarboro Road. I don't know if some of you have heard about the upcoming teen center, which will be in February. Yes, ma'am, St. Monica Teen Center. And so we're trying to have that as the home for it. But the youth would not have to bring anything. We will provide everything that they will need, the curriculum, the computer, and I did leave out a few major important pieces, and at the end of the completion, they will gain $500, and also they will get a new laptop.
In terms of possibly expanding what you're trying to do,
Mhm.
opportunities already in the schools for students to learn what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And most students in grade 9 through 12 get those skills in school. You might want to look at adding a component
Mhm.
where students that already have those skills can volunteer service time for the seniors that you're talking about. Because most students don't really need what you're talking about. When they get to age 14, they've had those computer skills in middle school
Mhm.
and in high school. And that is
Okay.
getting ready to be expanded even further with a new program that the superintendent
Mhm.
has in place with Microsoft. So you might want to kind of look at that and, look to see how you can maybe use those funds better in terms of the seniors that would be
Mhm.
and adding to your program.
Okay, that's a wonderful idea. And actually, Microsoft is one of our partners as well, too. So thank you. Thank you. That's very valuable to know. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I made that very brief. I do thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. Turner, and y'all have a great evening.
Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that update. We originally had CASA on our schedule here tonight. They weren't able to be here. We do have Janet Harrison for the Resources for Seniors. It's going to talk a little bit about how to help our senior citizens in our community maybe weatherize their houses a little bit better, that sort of thing.
Thank you, Mark. It's good to have the microphone down just a little bit for me. Does anybody in here have a mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle that you love and care a great deal for? Yeah, me too. Resources for Seniors is all about giving you the information that you need to be able to help them with the resources that they need to be able to be as independent as they can for as long as they can. Let's say grandma has gotten to the point that she can't get up and down the steps real well and she needs a ramp. You can call Resources for Seniors and we'll come out and build a ramp for her. The charge for it will be based on your ability to pay, and most of the work will be done by volunteers. A little bit of time goes on and grandma can't live by herself anymore. She needs to come and stay with you. And that's all well and good, except you got to get up and go to work the next day, and you can't leave her by herself. We have adult daycare centers, and you can bring her to an adult daycare center and know she's going to be real cared for. And then you go to work, and pick her up and bring her down. A little bit more time goes by, and hopefully grandma's going to be one of those that's going to be able to make it all the way to the end, just living with us and we take care of her. But statistically, 15% of us are going to wind up needing some assisted living. The kind that goes beyond what the daughter or the son and the family can do. Resources for Seniors will help you find the place that you need to do that. And when you look at this directory that I've passed out, and for those of you in the back that didn't get one, there's some on some of the empty chairs up here. The first part of the book has resources that are and phone numbers where you can touch base. The last half of the book has checklist. Let's say you needed to put mom or grandma in that long-term care facility. On page 77, there is a checklist. These are the questions that you need to answer when you go to check out that facility to find out, is this going to be a good place? Will Grandma be happy here? Are they going to look after her? Or are they just going to stick her in the corner and tell her to be quiet? Another thing that Resources for Seniors will do is, let's say you've got a catastrophic situation and you don't quite know what to do with it. We have case managers that will work with you. We have social workers that will work with you. It is a good place to start. And, you know, it might not even be grandma. It might be brother, sister, son, or daughter who has catastrophic illness or catastrophic accident that needs assistance, and we'll help with that also. The other thing that I want to mention, not only will we do that ramp, but let's say that the roof is leaking. We'll also come and help you with that. And another program that is dear to my heart, and this is really was my driver in coming out tonight, is weatherizing your home. Resources for Seniors is the agency for Wake County that is administering this program. This is stimulus money from the federal government. It is in every county in the United States of America. It is a program where you can have your home upgraded for free to be more energy efficient. There are income guidelines. So it does not matter what you own. It's strictly based on income. So if your income is low, or if you've been laid off and you don't have a job right now, there's a good possibility that you would qualify. Just to give you an idea, for one person in a household, the income floor is $21,660 a year. For a family of four, it's $44,100. This is an excellent program. If you qualify, they will spend up to $6,500 on a given home to do upgrades that will make it more energy efficient. If you're conscientious about energy and your income is higher and you don't qualify, then that's a good thing in that you have higher income. But I will put copies of these on the table when I leave. The green sheet is a do-it-yourself home energy audit, and it's from the U.S. Department of Energy. It's very good. The other thing I'm on the table are the blue sheets, and the blue sheets have tips for conserving energy for the summer and the winter. And on the back, there's information about the federal tax credits that are available if you do some upgrades to your home. And just one more item on the weatherizing. You do not have to be the owner. If you're a renter, it can work also. So if you have rental property or if you are renting, it still can work. I will leave these cards. There's information in the book, but I'll leave these cards on the table and the green sheets. Any questions?
I have like neighborhood surrounding area that I'm thinking as a city, it's nice to have someone watching the neighborhood. I feel sorry.
Yes. Any other questions?
Thank you, Janet, for that information. Good stuff. If anybody needs a booklet or something, I think we've got a few extras here in some of the seats, so you can take those home if you need to. All right, next item on our agenda, Mr. Marc Newman from St. Augustine's College is going to talk a little bit about their program. So appreciate you being here tonight, Mr. Newman.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good meeting. Good meeting. Yeah, a lot going on. Well, good afternoon. My name is Marc Newman. I'm the Chief Development Officer around the corner over at St. Augustine's College. We are, Dennis Davis is the Executive Director of our Community Development Corporation. You wonder who's got handing stuff out. But we're here just to talk about what's going on campus. We saw you the other day at the right now, the college is going through probably one of the best periods in its 144 years of being in existence. At this point right now, we are managing 4 major federal grants. This comes on the heels of finishing a successful project on Cook Street. Everybody, if you're not familiar, we just finished building and selling 13 brand new homes to first-time home buyers on Cook Street and Jones Street. These homes received the Sir Walter Raleigh Award for their quality in construction. The other interesting part of that project is the actual contractors were St. Augustine's College graduates. So it shows the quality of graduate. Along with that, we have a neighborhood stabilization grant. It's $2.1 million that we're rebuilding, that we're using in the community. Right now, we're doing a quadplex project down on State Street with our partners, Builders of Hope. And then we have 8 single-family homes, some on Oakwood, others on Lincoln Court, that are in the process of being rehabilitated right now. They're working on them today. We have what's interesting is the demolition aspects of that. We're able to hire community residents, and our contractor is also looking for other residents to help with the actual construction jobs. We have another weatherization project, is a partnership with the Raleigh Business and Technology Center, where we are, just like the young lady just said, we're weatherizing homes. Not only are we weatherizing homes, we're teaching and creating jobs by teaching individuals to do that actual weatherization. And then about a week and a half ago, we received notification that we received a HUD HBCU grant, and that will allow us to buy an additional 10 lots in the community that will be rehabilitated. That is part of our focus now. Our focus is, we've concentrated for years on the community inside the gates, is how can we assist in the redevelopment of the community outside the gates. Our goal is based on the fact that we have students from 48 states who come to this quaint campus in Raleigh, North Carolina, and as parents drop those kids off, they want to see a community that is sustainable. They want to see a community that they feel comfortable leaving their children in. This past summer, we continued our relationship with the YMCA of the Triangle. We have what's called Camp High Hopes, is their summer day camp. We have 320 kids who come from the area who spend the day on campus. Recreational activities, they receive 2 warm meals in the cafeteria. All students are bussed into the campus and bussed out. The YMCA does a great job in programming. It's another way, another partnership. We have the facilities, they have the expertise. We want to utilize those relationships to make sure that we are better serving those folks around us. This summer also, Fox News National did a 3-part series on the college. It's called Investing in the Dream. The first time that Fox had ever done a 3-part series on a college. Last week, Katrina Dix, who was our general manager of our radio and television station on campus, had the opportunity to fly to New York, where Fox established the first Fox News college scholarship for journalism majors on our campus. So it shows that we're getting there. Dennis handed out just a brochure that talks about bragging rights, and then this other one just talks about those other projects. What else do we have there? The Wellness Center in front of the campus is a fully staffed with personal trainers workout facility for the community, $8 a month. Once again, personal trainers, best deal coming. That's cheaper than Lions Park, I think. Yeah, and we're around the corner. We're not trying to take business away from Lions Park. Come on, see what we had to offer. And then the athletic facility is under construction. As everybody knows, St. Augustine's College is known worldwide for its track program. We have George Williams, who coached the 2004 Olympic track team. We have right now 2 Olympians, including Brashawn Jackson, who is the world's fastest hurdler. We won another national championship last year, and marks I think 36 in the past 40-something years. We reinstated football going on 7 years ago. So we're building a facility on campus right now. if you go on campus, you'll see the actual track down. It's going to be a 9-lane, internationally graded track with a field turf, football, soccer, infield. We're looking at hopefully a spring completion date, depending on weather. It'll be a wonderful opportunity. You know, the one thing we talk about is we have all these young people who graduated, all these young people who attend schools, and we tout this track and field program. Our students never get a chance to see them because we don't have adequate facilities on campus. When we talk about adequate facilities, we talk about a school that this past year won 7 conference championships in 7 separate sports. Not only that, we won 7 academic awards for highest GPAs in those related sports. The college will be honored at the NCAA conference in San Antonio in January for those accomplishments. But the fact that we've done that without facilities for years shows the commitment of a coaching staff, shows the commitment of administration and an alumni base and those friends who live around the campus. There's always good things going on campus. We have, you know, the young people in the theater and film program always have things going on in the theater. There's community days and other opportunities for us to open up the campus. So our goal is to be a friend. We always answer the phone. We always answer questions. But you know, we want to be there for the community. Our goal is to assist in developing the community. I think all of you moved here for. We want to be that neighbor. We want to be a good neighbor. So with that, Dennis, did we miss anything? St. Agnes. Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that question. We were actually in with the folks from Blue Cross Blue Shield this afternoon. We have come up with a concept for St. Agnes to be reestablished as the St. Agnes Health Disparities Institute. This past year, we reestablished the Allied Health Program. Our first cohort of students are in the program now. We also have, next year, we'll establish a physician's assistance program. So we're looking back at the medical history of the college. But a lot of people don't know St. Agnes was the only teaching hospital for African Americans between Washington, D.C. and New Orleans. If you were born in this neighborhood circa 1960, you were born at St. Agnes. The idea is to bring the structure back as the St. Agnes Health Disparities Institute, not a hospital. Not a hospital by far, an academic training location with partners including Frenius Healthcare, which does dialysis training, Wake Prostate Center. It's an avenue for our students to get practical experience in those health-related fields while providing basic screenings in those areas that have affected minority communities more so than other communities. That is the historic message and historic mission of St. Agnes Hospital, and our goal is to bring it back. The timeline for that is we're looking to just like the track, I've been talking about that track for 3 years and finally got to it. And I must say with that, it is we do have some interlocal funding from the city, but the rest of it's private. We're not going to go out and get loans for facilities. We're not going to go borrow money, especially in this economic climate. We were proud to say that we came out of this year, our endowment grew. We finished, I think, 6 years in a row we've had audits come back in the black. So financially we're doing well, but we're doing that based on the fact that we're not going out and making poor decisions to borrow money for those types of projects. So it's another private project. Billy Redmond, who is the president and CEO of, the president of the Wake Med Board of Trustees, has come on as the lead funder for that project. As we said, we were with the folks from Blue Cross Blue Shield this afternoon. So it's a project that's moving. We look forward to the successful completion of it. With that, I will answer questions if there are. Yes. State Street. Yeah, off of Martin Luther King past State Street. Yeah, there's a. We are trying to purchase those. I think at this point there are probably 4 to 5 houses on Oakwood that we don't own yet, and you can tell the ones that we don't own yet, and we are in the process of trying to acquire those now.
So all these maps,
Yeah, believe me, we know. So we are working with the property owners in most of those cases. And the city, we can honestly say the city of Raleigh has been an excellent partner in the acquisition process. So you can tell the houses that we have had the ability to work with. Our CFO is really into beautification. He talks so much about trees and plants and green. We just installed a sprinkler system on campus because the grass wasn't green enough for him. It was pretty green to me. But yeah, this summer we went through installing sprinkler systems to make sure that the campus is beautiful and reflects the neighborhood. Yes. We've already seen a retract. There was already a retraction. No, it did not tell the whole story. You had what she's referring to, we had a person who reported, IPEDS is a national reporting service for higher ed graduation rates, keyed in the wrong number with a publication called the Washington Monthly. We went back and there was a retraction actually made. We've gone back since then. That rate for that same period was 58% actually. So yeah, it was one of those, and that's why it didn't come out here. The local media here knew about the retraction, so yes. In about 2 weeks, when you click on it, it's going to be a brand new website. Behind that website, you see right now, there's another website embedded that they're working on and they're updating, and that community calendar is a big piece of that. That's one of the recommendations we had. So give us about 2 weeks. That's the HUD grant. Oh, and Dennis, you did have here NOBLE. NOBLE is the National Association of Black Law Enforcement Professionals. That's ATL, DEA, all those folks. Their campus, their organization is housed in our campus now. So when you see all the black cars driving up and down the street, it's actually a good thing. So they're housed on they're housed right down the street. I keep saying across. That's a mirror. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Newman, for that. Appreciate that. And, St. Augustine is always welcome to attend our meetings, and we look forward to closer cooperation. So thanks for coming out here tonight. Mr. Ronnie Robinson, the store manager of Food Lion, brought with him a box of supplies here, goodies for everybody, these nice fabric bags that are free for the taking. So make sure you grab one on your way out. There's a box full of them there right next to the door. So we thank Ronell and Food Lion for that. Let's see, I talked with some neighbors, sort of inspired, or I guess this sort of got initiated by the events on Glasscock, but we do have a lot of senior citizens in our neighborhoods who can't make these meetings, who don't have access to the streaming media and can't watch from home. So one thing I'd like everybody to think about is how we can better engage them, get them to our meetings, if we need to start carpools or something, or be a little bit more creative in reaching those people, because the members of our community who need this type of information, I mean, they're probably the people who are in most need of this type of stuff. So if we can find a way to help get them here and engaged, that'd be a wonderful thing. So put your heads together and think about that. Do you have a question or something to say? Mm-hmm. That's an interesting idea. That's a very good idea, and I think that our CAC funds, they're sort of limited to, outreach and marketing, that sort of thing, but I think that would fall under the provisions of our funding. So, Stacy might be able to clarify, or I could talk with Charlene about it, but I think that's something that is doable. And, I'm really proud of the CAC because a lot of things that we're doing here are now showing up in some of the other CACs across the city. It wasn't very long that no one had yard signs out there telling people about their CAC meetings, and now North Central has them, and Mordecai has them, and a lot of these other places are starting to catch on. It's a great thing. So we continue to come up with these great ideas, and they get validated when other people decide they want to adopt them too. So that's great. Did I see another question? Yes, ma'am. The channel, that's one option too, and in fact I've actually looked into that. It takes a couple of classes that you take from the city's community television service to get trained on their equipment, and it's just really a matter of scheduling, I think. I signed up. I think you have to sign up at least 3 months or something in advance to get those classes, and I'd actually had something come up right before my class had come around, and I wasn't able to go through the actual training, so I had to wait another 3 months, 6 months, and then you kind of get sidetracked. But there's no reason why I couldn't take the film that we captured tonight, for instance, send it in to the city and have it shown. So maybe that's something that we need to do as well. Not everybody has cable TV. That's the other option. So that's why a DVD might actually be a little bit more convenient for people, especially people on a fixed income who can't afford cable. So let's see. Other thing I wanted to mention, we don't endorse any political candidates here in the ECAC, but we did have a candidate for the Soil and Water Conservation District stop by and leave some cards on the table. I don't know anything about her, but you can pick up that information if you want on the way out. Once again, we don't normally deal with that, but since she stopped by, I figured I'd say that there's some stuff there. Does anybody else have any other announcements? Yes. I don't know of any redevelopment plans. So, okay, yeah, I'll have to find out about that. Keith, just some... Okay. Yeah, we've gone round and round about the history of the shopping center, so... Well, I'll have to find out, but neighbors have been really hoping to get something going on there, so we'll see what happens. As long as it's not an ABC store, I think everybody will be okay with it. All right, our next meeting is November 15th. I'm sorry, do you have something else to say? Okay, yeah, I sent an email out, and they said that the maintenance staff for the school system had come out and worked on it. Are you saying that you haven't noticed any difference in the noise?
Well, they pretty much tell us not to call them anymore.
All right. Well, that's your job as a concerned citizen, is a call. So don't take no for an answer.
Any data would cause, we'll get back to you in a couple of days. That's been 2 or 3 weeks.
That's very good to know, because I'll bring that up with the school system. Yeah, I would not take no for an answer, and it's frustrating to the school staff too, because they've been trying to get it fixed, but they can't seem to get anybody in the central office to pay any attention to it. So if they're telling you that, that's a good thing, and keep calling, because you want to make sure that gets fixed. If it means you call them up in the middle of the night when you can't sleep because the thing is cutting on, I would suggest you do that, because I wouldn't put up with it if I were you, and I don't expect anybody to. This is Enloe High School, the air conditioning unit. It got hit by lightning apparently at the start of the summer, and it's been noisy ever since. And the school would like to get it fixed. It's the school system that seems to not think it's a priority. So make sure you remind them that it's a priority. That's a good thing. All right. I don't know what the agenda will be like in November. We might have our holiday meeting. We might have our CAC history meeting. It all depends on how things fall out. But I hope to see you third Monday of every month. Make sure you sign up on the mailing list and the check-in sheet so we know how to get in hold of you. And hopefully we'll see you next month. Thank you very much, and see you in November. And don't forget about your bags. If anybody needs any yard signs, come see me, because I've got them for you. Thank you.
He told us